viewers? Mornings again. Another beautiful day. Yeah. Hope your five senses of work, health, and strength is good or excellent. Good. Alright, listen to this. Linux update adds support for 128 terabytes SD card. Sduc and UHS-2 SD cards are now supported. The high-capacity, high-speed SD and micro SD card will receive improved Linux support on the latest Linux 6.11 kernel update 11. Says here a recent Linux kernel commit 6.11 addressed key aspects of SD card compatibility and support. Most name adding support for ultra high speed 2 SD card, UHS-2 and ultra capacity SD card dubbed Sduc, and then it says hint in another bracket it says H/T for Onyx. UHS SD cards support speeds up to 300 megabytes, while Sduc cards have a theoretical maximum capacity of 128 terabytes and can support yet faster UHS-3 and SD card speed. Regarding Sduc cards and capacity, we saw 4 terabyte Sduc card back in April, and since then an 8 terabyte Sduc card also been announced. That is expected to increase over time, hence a 128 terabyte ceiling. It says while continuing the growth of SD card has been quite impressive, since they're still by far the most compact form of modern flash storage, the goal of eventually reaching 128 terabytes on one of these seems like a far off dream, particularly when hard drives are still topped out around 32 terabytes, and a 128 terabyte SSD needs much larger form factors than an SD card. And it says here, unfortunately, the current highest capacity card using Sduc Sduc and 8 terabyte SD card limit to UHS speed of roughly 104 megabytes per second. That's slightly lower that's slightly slower than a standard desktop hard drive. UHS-2 meanwhile is 320 megabytes per second and more like a common SATA SSD, which tops out at 550 megabytes overall in bandwidth. And then says here in its debut form, SD Express used PCIe 3.0 to reach speeds of up to 985 megabytes per second, but subsequent iteration allowed SD card to be used with PCIe 4.0 to reach speeds of high as 3940 megabytes per second, which is on par with proper NVMe Gen 3 / entry level Gen 4 SSD in that same familiar SD card form factor. Fortunately, Sduc cards will likely get better support for faster grade of UHS and SD Express in the long term. The Sduc standard already supports these features fine, but pushing the limit of SD card capacity does seem to come with some speed compromise. Fortunately, Linux 6.11 kernel is well prepared to deal with the still evolving SD card market. Well, this sounds pretty good for let me turn this on real quick. This sounds pretty good, you know, for Sduc cards, you know, and UHS SD cards, you know. Maybe you can use them to save games from your Steam Deck or from your laptop or desktop, you know. So they're getting better, you know, as technology is moving, you know, and new updates are always coming out. So Linux is making sure they leave nothing behind, you know, when it comes to storage. So, because I mean, you can do a micro SD card, but now you're doing Sduc and what's that? You're doing what's that? Sduc and UHS. maybe Valve will start probably using those too in another Steam OS update for games, you know. So you just gotta keep your eyes open for that. But yeah, these SD cards are getting better, man. You know, capacity of 128 terabytes. That's a lot of space. And then you're talking, I mean, hard drives that goes up to around 32 terabytes. Yeah, these are micro SD cards and, you know, UHS and Sduc cards. They're getting better as time goes on. You know, these developers, they're working hard. You know, so yeah. This article even talked about a 4 terabyte Sduc card. So that's a lot of space, man. See if I can find the article here. Yep, there's an article for it. So back in April, man. So they went from 256 gigs to 2 terabyte, and now you got 4 terabytes. Yeah, technology, folks, getting better. You know, these storage are getting better as time passes. So good move on the developers' part. You know, so yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this video for y'all to enjoy though. Nice talking to you people again. Crystal, Star Wars, Star Trek, Board, Dark Side. Peace.